today we're going to monogram an Easter basket. So when this person dropped off the Easter basket for me to monogram, they gave me the basket, which I'm very thankful, because if you don't have the basket, then you don't exactly know where the liner falls. So it's important to know where the liner falls so that you don't make the name too tall or put it in the wrong spot. So now that it's in the basket, what I did was I found my center, and then I decided I don't want to go any higher than this and I don't want to go any lower than this. So for me, I just pinned it like that so that I know the area that I want to sew in. After I did that, I kind of measured it. It's like 1.5 inches, and I can make the name. And so then once you're done with that, then you can take it off the basket. Now, if it's one of those basket liners that has elastic, it's a little trickier. So I'm going to show you how to do that just in case it happens to be that way. So I'm going to use the 6.5 Mighty Hoop to hoop this. I'm also going to use some very heavy one piece of cutaway backing because this is very thin and I want it to look good. And if you use cutaway backing, it makes everything look better. So I'm going to hoop it. I literally only use this table for videos. I don't hoop with this table. It's very flimsy, but it's great for videos. So if you have one of those kind of baskets that has elastic, what you can do is you can pull the basket tight like this and kind of clip it onto the edge of the table. You can get one of those like hand clamps and you can clamp it right there and then pull the other side and clamp it down. Other than that, you could get another human to hold it for you while you hoop it, because I know it is tricky to do it if you just have one set of hands. All right, so I'm going to take the bottom of my 6.5 Mighty Hoop, and you see this is the rough side and I have the tab up. So tab up, rough side up. I'm gonna go ahead and put this backing on there. I'm going to lay my liner on there. Now my design is going to be upside down, so when I'm in OS software, I'm going to flip my design upside down. So because I don't want to go to the edge of the hoop with the embroidery machine, I'm going to not hoop it so that it's all the way to the end. I'm going to pull it back just a little bit. You want to make sure your fabric is taut inside of your hoop, but not tight. I see people pulling it really, really tight. Well, the problem with pulling it really, really tight is you're now making the thread thinner. I mean, you're making the fabric thinner and then you're about to put holes in it. So it doesn't make the fabric look very nice. So if you just let the fabric relax when it's in the hoop, that way you can put 10,000 holes in it or whatever, and maybe it'll look okay. I mean, we are damaging fabric by, putting holes in it. So anyway, I'm going to put this down. I'm going to try to get this as straight as possible. I'm going to take my hoop and let's see if I can get it out of the way of the arms. Okay, so it's a little too loose for me, so I'm going to open it up again. I'm going to you can kind of push down with your hand so that you're kind of pushing down in the hoop area. So it'll stay straight for you, stay flat for you. And of course you can buy hooping stations. They have hooping stations. I'm just showing you how to free do it in case you don't have a hooping station. Okay, and so there we are. I have it all ready to go. Now I'm going to put it on the machine. Make sure that nothing is caught underneath like that. I'm going to make sure nothing's down. I'm also going to pin down the liner to the backing, because when you're embroidering, you are constantly moving fabric. You're putting the needle in, you're taking the needle out. You're putting the needle in, you're taking the needle out. You're pushing as it's sewing. So anything you can do to adhere something so that there's no movement is always going to be better. So I'm pinning the liner to the backing like that. So I just pinned it down. Now I'm going to go to my center, slip it on the machine, make sure nothing's caught underneath, and I'm going to press my laser. So I'm not exactly where I want to be, so I'm going to use the rectangle. I'm going to go over, come up, whatever you have to do to get to where you want to be. Okay, so that's exactly where I want to be. That's my center. Now I'm going to trace and make sure I don't go past those pins where I marked it. Okay, so I'm definitely happy with that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all my pins out except for the one that I pinned to the backing. Get all this out the way. Of course, they want to stick to the mighty hoop. Double check your spellings. The best way to check spellings is to check them backwards. If you're checking the name John, you're going to go John. You're going to go way too fast. But if you have to check the letters backwards, it slows you down a bit. You can also count letters when you have longer names like Isabella and Catherine, stuff like that. You can definitely count the letters. That helps to make sure you have every letter in there because we're moving fast. So it's always just a good idea. So I do check the name backwards. She told me the color blue that she wants to use, which I put on the machine. It is 1628 blue from Madeira, and here we go. Okay, it's all finished. It was about 3,000 stitches, so it took about 3 minutes. Going to go ahead and take it off. I already removed the pin that was holding the backing, holding the liner to the backing. Now I'm just going to cut the backing off. So it's March of 2025. I'm charging $17 for this monogram, which I did in approximately 5 minutes. This font is Clarendon, I believe. It's in your list of, so in your monograms, in your fonts in Design Shop, they're all categorized. So you have a categorization called Serif. And in those serif fonts is where I found this one. And I believe it's called Clarendon. I'm not exactly sure if I'm saying that correctly, but I will put it into the description. So I'm going to put this back on here. I will give you a tip. If you plan on selling Easter baskets, if you plan on purchasing Easter baskets and you want to put names on them and then give them to the customer, where the customer doesn't bring them to you, but you actually provide them, get big ones. Because in my store for years and years and years, I would always get the smaller one, and customers were constantly telling me my basket wasn't big enough. So they were actually going out other places, buying bigger baskets and bringing them into me. It was kind of running out of store space for me. So I would carry the smaller ones, but my suggestion to you is if you do buy Easter baskets that you want to sell, make sure they're big, because I'd say most of my customers wanted a much bigger basket. All right, I'm just tying it back. And making sure it looks perfect on there. And there you go. There's your finished product.